Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone, wherever you might be watching me live and direct. We are here again, of course, to continue the in depth analysis of events as they continue to unfold. Keeping it real has been a passion and drive. And here again, we are, of course, to continue the discussion after the court appearance of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra yesterday. Of course, it has been making rounds, his statement and positions, and the way forward is quite interesting, of course, to have come to this point. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is an exceptional, brave-hearted freedom fighter. He has demonstrated this, his tenacity, his commitment, and love for his people, and not just for his people, but the entire African state and African continent to come to the realization of their potentials and, of course, the highness's potentials for the common good of all. Africans can no longer be enslaved. African can no longer be subjugated. African sons and daughters can no longer be exploited. That is his positions. And every reasonable and responsible persons will agree with him that it's time, of course, to chart the way forward for Africa. Of course, Africa has been the cradle of civilization, but what happens thereafter? Of course, it was not sustained, it was not expanded, and unfortunately, the white men or the Western world came and borrowed, of course, the technology of Africans. They not just ended up borrowing the technology, they also exploited and keep exploiting the natural and human resources. You can see how we experience uh, joint brains, of course. Our good brains are leaving the shores of Africa to Europe, across Asia, across, of course, America, and what have you, and contributing immensely to the development and advancement of those communities and society that found themselves. While Africa back home lies fallow, lies retrogressive without any progress or impact being made. Unfortunately, the political leaders remain a stooge to the Western powers who dictate the tune for them because how they have offered themselves as a slave and have enslaved the entire region or masses of Africa. And Mazin Nnamdi Kanu maintained his composure and his determination to chart a way forward as a Pan-African activist and leader. He believed so much in the emancipation of the African continent. And that will start, of course, by the liberation of the rising sun, the nation of the rising sun, which is the Biafra, which he has believed so much that will come. However, despite, of course, the oppressions and suppressions and hindrances that have been built up against the declaration of the Biafran state, is it the only way forward to curb insecurity and to attain high level of discipline and, of course, prosperity, peace to all within the region. And it will set a pace to every other nation within the African state to rise up and, of course, begin to build up Africa. And by collective efforts and understanding, having a well defined ideology and how to move forward. Humanity should be placed first. And he went further to say that he is not happy with the killings and he cannot in any way support it. He has maintained this composure, this position, even before his extraordinary rendition. He had not supported violence. Of course, there was a time he warned parents to stop their children who were involved in dastard act, in killing and robbery. That whosoever is caught disturbing the peace or disrupting the peace of the Biafrans will be penalized, and that person must have his or herself to blame. So he has maintained that position that the freedom of Biafrans does not worth, of course, spilling the blood of Biafrans, that he is there to protect Biafrans and, of course, to ensure the development and advancement of the region within the Biafran territory. And, of course, it will be an extension to Africa development and growth, self realization, self actualization, and self, of course, integration would be the way forward for all within the African state. What can you share about a man whose determination, whose commitment, sacrifice is beyond the threshold of what is acceptable by the political leaders? They knew, of course, that this man meant well, not just for his own dear friends, but to the entirety of African states or regions or ethnic nationalities, that they could be given the opportunity to express themselves and harness their potentials and become what God wants them to be. Would you at this time consider such person to be out of place? I think Mazen Nnamdi is a leader of great repute. Is a leader that should be trusted and given opportunity to serve in that capacity of the African Union leader, because he meant well for the Africans, not just for the Biafrans. And every lover of peace and progress must support him, must understand, of course, his positions and thrive. Thank you once again for watching us. Let's know what is your take regarding this. What do you think will come out of the out of case out of court settlement has been suggested by the judges presiding over the case? They have willingly surrendered, of course, the case of Mazen Namdekado and have shifted it to the Attorney General, who is a custodian of justice, believing, of course, that he will do justice to this case. The world is watching to see, of course, the part he plays in the history of righting the wrongs and ensuring that justice prevails at the end of the day. Keep watching. We'll keep abreast with the realities, and of course, we'll continue to inform you what is happening and the way forward. Mazen Nandikan had this demonstrated to be an epitome of excellence in leadership, in character, and of course, is accepted by millions, hundreds of millions, of course, across the globe. Is an epitome of dignity, and of course, it's been endeared by all. And we love him. I love him. Conweb TV love him because of his tenacity, his commitment, his sincerity, and the unwavering uh, tenacity to ensure for the common good of all. Humanity is blessed first. Of course, that is his priority. He is not selfish in terms of pursuing his selfish interests, but a collective interest which he has believed so much that humanity must be delivered. The shackles of chains and oppressions, suppressions and exploitation must end, and there's no better time than now. Follow me, of course, as we continue uh, briefing on the entire world of the latest happenings. It will interest you more. Don't forget to hit the like buttons, share this video, and of course, turn on the notification buttons so that you can receive immediately we upload. Thank you once again. I'm coming your way in the next edition.